Welcome to our VirtuaLaw Legal Analysis series. In today's episode, we will discuss the meaning, application and sample case of Doctrine of Hierarchy of Courts. Let's dive right into it. The doctrine of hierarchy of courts in the Philippines is a principle that governs the order of precedence of courts in the country. It is based on the idea that each court has a specific role to play in the judicial system, and that cases should be filed in the court that is most appropriate for their resolution. Application. The doctrine of hierarchy of courts is used to determine the following: the proper venue for a case. When two or more courts have concurrent jurisdiction over a case, the doctrine of hierarchy of courts determines which court is the proper venue for the case. The proper forum for a petition for extraordinary writ. Extraordinary writs, such as certiorari, prohibition, and mandamus, are used to challenge the decisions of lower courts. The doctrine of hierarchy of courts determines the proper forum for a petition for an extraordinary writ. The doctrine of hierarchy of courts is applied in the following way. 1. The lowest court with jurisdiction over the case must be the first court to hear the case. 2. If the case is appealed, it will be heard by the next highest court with jurisdiction over the case. 3. This process continues until the case reaches the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the Philippines. There are a few exceptions to the doctrine of hierarchy of courts. For example, a party may file a petition for certiorari directly with the Supreme Court if the case involves a question of law that is of transcendental importance. Sample case. One case that illustrates the application of the doctrine of hierarchy of courts is Provincial Bus Operators Association of the Philippines v. Department of Labor and Employment. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the doctrine of hierarchy of courts requires that recourse must first be obtained from lower courts sharing concurrent jurisdiction with a higher court. The court reasoned that the doctrine of hierarchy of courts is necessary to ensure that the Supreme Court is able to focus on its most important cases, and to prevent the clogging of its docket. The doctrine of hierarchy of courts is an important principle in the Philippines judicial system. It helps to ensure that cases are filed in the appropriate court, and that the Supreme Court is able to focus on its most important cases. That's all for this episode. Stay tuned for more legal insights in our future episode. Remember, understanding landmark case helps us comprehend the intricacies of our legal system. See you next time. Like and subscribe.